Friends, good evening. Today is Monday and we are at our Dehradun campus, the green campus developed by us in Dehradun. We welcome you on behalf of the World Today channel, and our special correspondents are there with us. They have asked me to introduce the birth of this campus besides the activities going on. So I welcome both these correspondents. We have Dr. Savita Rani Natarajan on my right side, and on my left side is Dr. Utkarsh Sharma. So I encourage them to ask questions so that one by one I may answer, and then we also have a glance of the entire campus, the green area we have developed.
So how did you get the idea of getting a campus here in Dehradun, sir, out of all the places in India?
Okay, you are asking how did I have the idea of having this campus. We had been trying for having a Dehradun campus or the Hill campus right from the year 1985. But because of some reasons we could not buy it. We came at least 100 times, but the problem was that we were going back the same day. So it was not possible to negotiate. A time came in the year 2001-2002 when the then government of Uttarakhand, which was a newly created state, Chief Minister in particular, invited us to create a privately funded and externally funded state university. That time there was no private university here. There was no concept. So we gave the proposal and we thought we must develop a campus. So in the year 2002, March, we bought this place and developed the campus, the green campus, which you can see right from this side. All these greeneries are there, and this is the main building. And then we have also the utility block where there are offices, about say 10,000 square feet, and we have the residences on the right side. So all these areas were developed by us, and the idea was to do something for the hilly areas. That was our main concern. So with this in view, we developed the campus 18 years ago. In nutshell, I want to say that 18 years ago the idea came, and then we decided to have the campus, and we were successful in having the campus developed.
So currently you have a very novel idea of giving the people of Dehradun another opportunity to open a good university here. So in collaboration with the state government, how this idea works out and how the people of Dehradun will get benefited out of it?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, when we were invited in 2002 to create a university, it was almost done. The state government appointed a high-level committee at the behest of the Chief Minister, and the high-level committee visited our campus in Delhi because the idea was to know about the authenticity of the programs we are conducting in Delhi, and they gave an excellent report because they got overwhelmed to see that Delhi campus and gave a good report. It was almost decided, but because of some bureaucratic hurdle, this could not take place, and because of a busy schedule in Delhi and in many other countries, we could not pursue. So now last year only, when we got encouragement from the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, when we gave the letter to him explaining our desire to create a university by the name and style of Dr. Kesav Balidam Hedgewar, Hindu Vishwavidyalaya. We said the Kesav Balidam Hedgewar Vishwavidyapith was inaugurated by the then Prime Minister of India, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, on 26th of May, 1996, when he was the Prime Minister for 13 days only. So we remember that, and then Honorable Prime Minister encouraged us like anything. He gave such a beautiful letter, remembering Dr. G, I mean Dr. Kesav Balidam Hedgewar, the founder of RSS, and then we thought the first priority for us will be Uttarakhand. And in Uttarakhand, we thought we should create this university with a view to also reviving our ancient Indian culture, also regarding Bharatiyata, regarding Swadeshi movement, and regarding skilling youth, young boys and girls, so that whatever is produced outside is produced inside only. And then in the rest of the world, our products will be exported. So I think by doing so, no person in India will remain unemployed, and let them not be unemployable. Reason now is that those products coming out are unemployable. Our idea is to make them employable by skilling themselves.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your answers. So, sir, my question would be then when you selected Dehradun in 2003, what was in your mind? It was because of the locational advantages or because of the weather, or you thought that here we can have multi-purpose activities? What was going in your mind in 2003? Because at that time Dehradun was known to be a school capital that time, and you had a different vision altogether because you are looking at Dehradun like building universities or for higher education. So what was going in your mind at that time?
When we bought the campus in 2002 March, then that time we thought we will try to maintain the greenery of Uttarakhand state. And with that in mind, we established the branch campus of the Indian Institute of Ecology and Environment, which is headquartered in New Delhi, which I started 40 years ago. So we were very glad to see the response. A better response was there in Uttarakhand rather than Delhi, because it is a green place and students, guardians know the importance of greenery, and they knew that the forests are shrinking. So most of them who were keen to join environmental courses, they kept on coming, and they also got admitted in other courses relating to sustainable development or disaster management. So we were very much happy to see that it got a success right away. But in the meantime, we also thought we will strengthen our campus not only by conducting environmental classes or having a big laboratory to know the water quality, or for that matter air quality, or any other type of pollution. We also thought it is our prime duty, given the fact that it is nearer from Delhi and road conditions are better than going to any other place in Uttarakhand. Other states we thought we will cover from here because it becomes a center. If we talk of Himalayan states, you know, there are 12 Himalayan states today. If somebody asks how many states are there, 12. Starting from Jammu and Kashmir to Ladakh, Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Union Territory of Ladakh. Third is, Himachal Pradesh. Fourth is Uttarakhand. And there are 8 sisters, not 7 sisters. There was a time when we were calling 7 sisters, because this word 7 sisters were given when Sikkim was not a state, it was a country. And in the year 1974-75, when the then king wanted to surrender because China was progressing and they wanted to capture, so they thought they must hand it over to India. So 8 sisters, Sikkim, Assam, Meghalaya, or for the Nagaland, or Arunachal Pradesh, Tripura, or Mizoram, Manipur. So all these states are there. So 12 states. We thought we'll bring out a 12-volume encyclopedia of mountain states of India. And if there is a common consensus, then we'll add also Nepal and Bhutan, which are countries, but they are also called Himalayan states. But now that the relations with Nepal is not very good, we won't like to go that way, but at least a 12-volume encyclopedia can come regarding the socio-economic survey and the requirements of the mountain states. And by doing so, it will be possible to do a specific skilling program for the young boys and girls, because the requirements in all these states are different. The culture is different. Some states are Christian-dominated states, some are mixed culture, some are Hindu-dominated states, some are Muslim-dominated states. So the answer will be different and the package will be different. So that was the idea.
Yes. So my next question would be, can we also walk towards the
Other campus.
Okay, please.
and also we can discuss also. So as you all are aware that that your slogan has gathered momentum in all the Himalayan regions. Catch them young and make them didactics.
Correct, correct.
So my question would be that what is your master plan for the youth of Dehradun, and how you can help them in establishing themselves in vocational courses like ecology, environment, human rights, illness education, and others.
Okay, that's a very good question. The question was, how do we envisage a master plan paradigm for ensuring that somehow we have a package for young boys and girls. You know, as you rightly said and observed while asking this question, that our priority has been the slogan "Catch them young," which we announced about 47 years ago. The idea was to ensure that we catch the children young so that they can become educators and didactics to further educate their fathers, mothers, their guardians, their school teachers, their colleagues, rather the entire neighborhood. Once it is done, the students will be quite satisfied by seeing that whatever wrong they find in the senior persons, by advising them, they will be ensuring that there is no problem, no bad things in mind, including pollution of mind and pollution of air, pollution of noise, pollution of water, and many other types of pollution. So that way we decided that for different mountain states in general and Uttarakhand in particular, we will prepare a competent cadre of environmentalists who will not only work in the public and private sector organizations for depolluting the industrial environment in sugar, leather, petrochemical, pharmaceutical, steel, mining, thermal power plants, everywhere. They will also become entrepreneurs. They will believe in the ecological farming, or for that matter, creating environment-friendly and sustainable jobs. Because there is no point in manufacturing something at the cost of environment, although there has to be a balance between environment and development. So our idea was basically to ensure that we create environment-friendly and sustainable jobs in the area of, say, biofertilizers, organic farming, or for that matter, manufacturing of solar power or hydropower plants and equipments and their maintenance. So that way there are hundreds of areas which are eco-friendly, and if we do sustainable agriculture, if we do sustainable farming, and if we also have the service industries where there is no pollution, that way also we will be able to prepare a competent cadre so that half of our population, the idea is to ensure that half the population of Uttarakhand, half the population of our country are exported to other parts of the world, so that they also promote our cause, the Indian ethos and the temple ethos, all those things which are eco-friendly for protection of Mother Earth is also translated into action in the rest of the world, so that the planet, and rather the entire world, is cleaner and greener.
So, to wind up, we would like to ask our last and the most curious question that these days the youth are asking, that the certificate courses that has been designed by your various organizations. So, will it help the youth or the professionals who are already working to add to their current profile the specialized certificates, that is 1 month, 2 months or 3 months, and because they are very unique in their own types. So can we also do it from Dehradun to empower the youth of Dehradun?
What has happened, you know, we had many discussions through webinars regarding the fate of skill-based education, higher education, tertiary education, vocational education, technological education in the era of COVID-19 and beyond. The COVID-19 has changed the entire atmosphere. The jobs are sinking, jobs have been lost, millions of jobs have been lost. So, in order to revive this, we thought we have to do something. That is why we have located 5,000 skill-based courses. 5,000. Now, different institutions, some institutions are offering all the 5,000 courses, some are offering 3,000 plus courses, some are offering 2,000 plus courses, some are offering 1,000 plus courses, some are offering 500 plus courses. So, they are all depending on different subjects: ecology, environment, disaster management, sustainable development, peace studies, conflict resolution, human rights, intellectual property rights, bioinformatics, geoinformatics, or for that matter agriculture, or pomology, or for that matter horticulture, cleanliness, hygiene, sanitation. So, garbage management or recycling, nanotechnology, biotechnology. So, there are many other areas, especially the health area, where paramedical, medical lab technology, radiology, imaging technology, ecotourism, sustainable tourism. So, thousands of areas are there. Besides that, we have also developed about 525 courses which are complementary and which are alternative type of therapies other than homeopathy and allopathy. We have 525 drugless therapies. If these therapies are offered to the people, the advantage is that there is no side effect. Because if you don't take a medicine, it is only therapy: acupuncture, acupressure, flower therapy, back therapy, music therapy. So there are many other therapies. That way it is quite possible to have those things. So I am sure most of the courses are eco-friendly. I am sure the young boys and girls of Uttarakhand will undergo the certificate courses, even if they are studying in the bachelor's or master's degree, or even if they are studying in the schools, 10 or plus 2 level, or even 8th level, anybody can do it because there is no educational qualification required. We have found from our own experience, once we announced, half of the students are those who are MTech and PhDs. I asked them, why are you hunting a certificate? They say, yes, these courses are so important. If I have specialized in one area, I don't know the other area. So it is only through online education that I can acquire fairly good knowledge. So the momentum is getting increased, being the fact that full-time classes are not feasible now. So there will be many new changes that way. So these are our all other departments. We are researching on medicinal plants also. So medicinal plants are there. We are researching on medicinal plantation. These are also the rear side. So I thank my team for asking these questions, and I'm sure we'll have series of.
And tomorrow, sir, I would like to request that tomorrow, before we leave Dehradun, so I would like you to also brief the officials and the education department of Dehradun the importance of virtual environment in education and how they can adopt this to virtual education system to overpass this COVID-19 situation.
Very good.
Tomorrow we should come back with the new topic and we should brief the people of Dehradun.
Thank you very much. Okay. Namaskar.